So today's video is all about skin, and in particular it is about trying to get your foundation to last throughout a very long day. So I will always use a primer. The type of primer that you use will all depend on your skin needs. So right here I'm using the Amy Connolly Beauty Base, and the reason I like this is because this is really going to help with hydration of my skin. It also gives my skin a glow, and at the same time it has an SPF in it, so it's going to help protect my skin. You can get primers that will help fill in your pores and fine lines so that your foundation will sit better. I have no idea why I mixed Prolong Wear and Studio Fix together, but one day I discovered that if I did it this way, my foundation lasted longer and looked better, so I just kept going with it. When applying my foundation, I will always use a kabuki brush. This is the Madison Flathead kabuki brush, and I really am enjoying it at the moment. When using this type of brush, I really buff it into my skin, I push the product in and then I blend it in, and I keep at it for a few minutes because I just make sure that it really goes deep down into the skin. So this is MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in the shade Light Boost. Now this is not a highlighter as in it's a glittery glowy highlighter. This is going to just highlight underneath your eyes. I love this. Again, I wouldn't use this every day, but what I do use it for is it gives a little bit of concealing, but it also is going to brighten up the under eye area and make you look less tired. I adore this concealer. I absolutely adore it. It's MAC Prolong Wear and I use the shade NC20. So it is so good for getting rid of dark circles. It's really good for brightening up the under eyes, and I also bring it up onto my lids and it acts as a fantastic primer for your eyes too. Like, it's just incredible. I also find it applies better with your fingers rather than a brush or a sponge. This is the Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and I actually have it on a Madison highlighting brush. I love that fluffy brush for this type of application. I put a little bit on the brush, tap the excess into the lid. I then apply it to the under eye area, leave it for a minute or two, and then I brush it off. And I find for me this is not only great for setting my concealer, but again it's going to brighten up the under eye area too. If I want my bronzer or contour to last, I will always put a little bit of a cream bronzer on first. This is the Sosumi contour stick in the shade Warm. I find that by applying the contour stick first and then buffing it in, that I get my bronzer to last that little bit longer. I then set it with a powder bronzer. This is my beloved MAC Give Me Sun, and I use a really fluffy brush. I just go over it and I blend, and I mean, like, I really blend till your hand hurts. I then set my foundation, and this is the Mercier translucent powder. I don't always do it this way. Sometimes I apply the powder quite heavily and then I leave it for a little while to set and then I brush it off. Sometimes I just bounce it into the skin. So both ways work. I find that this way just works a little bit better. This is a MAC Extra Dimension blusher called Just a Pinch. I adore these blushers. I think I've every shade. They are just divine. They add colour and a hint of a glow as well too. Oh lads, be still my beating heart. This highlighter is just so beautiful. It is the Amrezy highlighter for Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's not cheap, but my God does it last, and my God is it just gorgeous. So in my eyes, totally worth it. Look at that glow. The fan brush is from Zoeva. I love that fan brush. So there you go, the finished look. Sure, I look like I'm only weak for myself posing, but I actually hate doing this little bit trying to show off the makeup. Hopefully that video helped and gave you a few tips and tricks along the way, as well as telling you about some of my favourite products.